Welcome to my YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe, like and share on this video. We are going to talk about tell me about yourself. So important notes to put across on this interview is you have to be practical throughout. If you are in an accounting interview, for example, avoid theories like I have good accounting skills. Instead, if they ask you tell me about yourself, you say I have been able to prepare budgets, I have been able to balance ledgers, I have reported financially to how many portfolios. Then you give examples in terms of I have worked with Safaricom company for this year and this year on this project which was about this. My team members were this number. Like you give exact, you don't talk about any theories like I worked for a company. You mention the exact name of the company. If you are a leader, what number were you managing at that time, the number of team members you're managing at that time. And always refer to the job description. If the job description is looking for someone who has good maybe tax skills, you should this is when you mention these skills on this interview. But remember, you do not mention them in theoretical point, but as practical point of view, in terms of I have done this while working at Safaricom PLC. I have prepared reports. I have prepared 100 reports and submitted them to this and this. You don't talk about any theory in an interview, otherwise you would have failed. So it is very key to be practical when you are having this interview. And then you can show your portfolio, how many people you have handled throughout that time. Then when this tell me about yourself comes at the beginning of the interview, what the interviewer is interested in is in the qualification. You see, before you apply for a job, maybe it has been posted somewhere. You have to check like what are your how are your qualification matching to their job description. When you're answering that question, make sure if it's education, if it's your skill, make sure they are from the job description they have put across. Don't to put a skill that is not relevant to the job that you have been applied. Maybe you are in customer service and you are an engineer, so don't answer customer service questions when you're in an electrical engineering interview, unless you're going to have customer service duties when you're having that job. So mix up of skills and qualifications, because just because you have worked in different companies doesn't mean that you're supposed to answer the interview at this point on all your experiences. For the skills, don't say like communication skills. For instance, you can say I communicate effectively and listen to people and push for their feedback. Don't just say I have good communication skills. If you are good in organization, just say you plan your day, you divide it into half, you are able to manage your tasks like 10 tasks a day. So when you talk about your experience, when you're answering tell me about yourself, you should mention your experience in terms how many years you have worked, what is the company you have worked, and what is the portfolio you have worked with, and what skills have you gained from that experience. In professional background, if you have any memberships, if you are an accountant, for example, if you are in CPA, that's when you should mention when you are told tell me about yourself. Any certification, if you're a certified auditor, a certified accountant, this is when you should mention this on the tell me about yourself, and make sure it is relevant. Don't say you are a certified engineer yet you are in an accountant interview. So the answer should not be too long or too short. It should just be concise. Someone is able to gain something from you and they don't have to strain. Don't be too short and don't be too long, because too long can be boring and too short can be inadequate. So just be moderate about this answer. Give some 2-3 examples. For example, you can say you can describe I have been a hostess or a waitress at this restaurant for 2 years, and I was great at you greet and assisted on customers, assisted waiting times. Instead of saying you were a good you had good customer service experience. Then you go and summarize your experience and your achievements at that restaurant if you are a waitress, for example. That is an example of an answer. You summarize your experience and the achievements. This is tell me about yourself. Then explain how you want this job and how it's relating to your previous job. Is it going to give you growth? Is it going to give you transition? Is it going to give you an exposure, diversity? That is the conclusion. And then the next question is, how will you describe yourself? The company is interested in your character. Are you keen on the company's mission and vision? Use examples of your character, how you are a person of integrity, how you have been honest in your job. Yeah. So it really depends on the job that has been advertised. It will depend on how you'll describe yourself. So if it's about maybe a sales job, you'll have to describe you are result oriented, you are aggressive, you have good follow-up skills, you plan your day. That is if it's a sales CV. So it depends with what the interviewer is looking for. If it's customer service, you listen to problems, you know how to relate with people, you know how to calm people down, you're a problem solver, and then you explain how now those characteristics have helped you to achieve your success in the previous organization. Then what makes you unique? This one, they want to see if you can bring any profitability into this organization apart from the common things they have placed from that job description. For example, if you're most people have gone to school to study commerce, but some have good tax skills, project management. So these ones are things that can add up to an organization. Are you good in marketing? Are you good in addition to a course? Do you have procurement and accounting? Do you have marketing and a blend of two? This is when you market yourself that you don't have only one qualification but two. So you talk about the skills other than in the workplace. Have you done things that are outside your box apart from the normal things that people do? What have you been doing out of the box? This is when you realize when you say the unique things that you have. Then why do you want to work here? Here they are concerned about the company. How well do you know the company? Are you in line with their mission? Do you know their products? Do you know their values? Like the companies are committed to excellence. Are you an excellent person? This is when you explain that you are compatible in terms of you have the same mission, vision, culture, and you are committed to the same program. Then an example is the company's mission is to help college graduates pay off their debts. Then you can explain like how personally you are in a debt or how you are sorting your debt at this point. Then what interests you about this role? Then this question is actually testing on the job description. Have you understood what they really want in that organization? And then you are able to compare with what you're bringing into the organization, and you also align it with their career goals. Is it in line with your career goals? Then what motivates you? You can give this you give life examples. Have you been if you are in a financial institution, have you been in a place where you're financially challenged? How did you motivate your community? How did you encourage them? How did you choose teach them on financial literacy? So you say about your passion. What made you choose that course or that career? Yeah. So those are the things that you can mention when they ask you that question. Then there is what are you passionate about? Now you're extreme. You say this one is a genuine question, whether it's out of the course or in, but it should always relate to the job description. Don't say you're passionate about. If you're an IT person, you can say I'm passionate about technology, I'm passionate about software development, and during my career I've created such and such softwares and they have helped people in such and such a manner. Then why are you leaving your current job? Some of the answers, you don't say anything negative about your previous organization. It is just good to remain positive and say that maybe you are going to grow a career, or you are happy that this is a bigger company. Say good things about the company that you're hoping to work for, and you can also check what good things they have so that you can mention them there. And then you can also talk about how you want to grow your skills so that you don't fail on this one. You relate it to the job, and always keep it positive. Then finish up that you have learned a lot in your role, maybe, and you think this is the perfect opportunity to grow. Then what are your greatest strengths? This always should go back to the job description. You say, I'm good at preparing accounting reports, financial reports, balancing ledger, cost accounting. It always depends with them job. And if you're a customer service person, you can say, I have always solved customers' problem without any struggle. Those are the things that you mention. You talk about your skills, how you relate with people, and how it is relevant to the job that you're applying for. What is your greatest weakness? Weaknesses, don't talk about a weakness that can put you in a place where the interviewer is saying that even if I give you a job, will you say that your problem is time management? You see, that is a weakness, but it is not good to mention it in an interview session. So it's better you mention weaknesses like I'm shy, I'm a perfectionist. You see, these are weaknesses, but they can be sorted if you're trained. But there are some things of time management. No employer wants to employ someone who's not managing their time well. So if you're a shy person, for instance, they can teach you how to be courageous. If you're a perfectionist, it can be advantage and a disadvantage, because the company will always get the exact details on the info. Explain how you are overcoming the shyness. Are you going for training classes or presentations? Don't talk about your weakness without talking about how you are sorting it out. Then on your goals, the company wants to know if you're going to stay with them or not. So if you're an accountant, you say, my goal is to be a principal accountant. So you talk about having additional responsibilities with the same company. Don't talk about that, I hope that I'll joined another company. That's a wrong answer. Talk about how you'll have grown in that organization. This is the same. They want to know your long-term goals, and are you there to stay? This is the same question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? You could have grown your skills, you could have had additional responsibilities, you could have given more job opportunities. So it is good to mention that you will have accomplished one or two things in your in your career you will have been an expert, an expert, or you will have been certified if you are if the course requires training, in that when you train you will be able to be certified. Then this is when you say that you'll be certified. Yeah, that is an example of an answer. Then, can you tell me about a difficult work situation and how overcame it? This one is just dealing about problem solving and how to overcome. So thank you for watching this channel, and make sure that you like and comment and subscribe. See you. All questions should be directed to ivy.miri@gmail.com. Also, let me know what I can improve on and what I can talk about next.